Have you ever felt the invisible weight of a story that isn't entirely yours, yet defines you in the eyes of others? The subtle shift in glances, the hushed tones when you enter a room, the sense that your worth is perpetually measured against a past event or a family legacy that you didn't choose, but inherited. It's a profound kind of loneliness, isn't it? To exist on the fringes not by personal preference, but because the world has already written your narrative, and it's a narrative steeped in judgment, misunderstanding, or even quiet scorn. This burden creates a deep ache, a longing for a space where you can simply be, unburdened by external labels. It forces a solitary existence, where every interaction feels like an audition, every step a careful dance around perceived flaws. You learn to build walls, not just to protect yourself from the world's harshness, but sometimes to shield the very parts of yourself that yearn for connection, for acceptance, for a fresh start. This constant vigilance, this self-imposed isolation, becomes a heavy cloak, suffocating the spirit and making genuine intimacy feel like an impossible dream. And then there is another form of isolation, one born not from external judgment, but from profound internal suffering. Perhaps you've known the quiet solitude of a heart sealed off, not out of malice, but out of a deep, protective instinct forged in the fires of past trauma or loss. This is the path of the reclusive soul, who prefers the company of silence, of routines, of the earth itself, because human connection has proven too painful, too unpredictable, too demanding of vulnerabilities that feel too risky to offer. The burden of this past is carried in silence, unseen by most, yet weighing heavily on every breath. This kind of suffering often leads to a life built around self-sufficiency, a deliberate choice to withdraw, to minimize the potential for further hurt by minimizing interaction. It's a survival mechanism, a way of managing a world that feels too loud, too chaotic, too full of echoes from what once was. Imagine these two worlds, these two distinct forms of profound solitude existing side by side. The one who carries the public burden of misunderstanding, longing for refuge, and the one who has built a fortress around their own quiet suffering, believing themselves beyond connection. What happens when life, in its unpredictable wisdom, forces these two deeply entrenched silences to collide? When an unexpected storm, be it literal or metaphorical, shatters the carefully constructed boundaries, demanding a shared space, a shared vulnerability? In that moment of forced proximity, there's an initial resistance, a natural inclination to retreat further into the familiar comfort of isolation. Yet, beneath the layers of past wounds and societal definitions, there often lies a primal recognition, a silent understanding that transcends words, that speaks directly to the soul's deepest longing for a place to simply be, without judgment, without explanation, without having to carry the entire weight of the past alone. It's in these raw, unscripted moments that the possibility of a different kind of connection, a connection born of shared understanding and mutual respect for unspoken suffering, begins to emerge. This isn't just about finding another person. It's about the profound courage it takes to confront the narratives that bind us, whether they are whispered by the world or etched into our own hearts. It's about the vulnerable, yet powerful decision to choose refuge over fear, to allow the possibility of being truly seen for who you are, beyond the labels and the pain. This is where our journey begins, in the quiet, desperate hope that even in the deepest isolation, understanding can bloom, and a different kind of future can bravely begin to take root, built not on perfection, but on shared resilience and the courage to heal together. As two isolated worlds are unexpectedly drawn together, we begin to observe something far more intricate than mere circumstance. Beneath the immediate discomfort of forced proximity, deeper currents stir, revealing the invisible architecture of our inner lives. For many, the external narrative imposed by others, or by life's harsh turns, gradually seeps inward, becoming an unconscious script that dictates how we relate to ourselves and the world. This is where the true work begins, understanding the subtle, often unseen patterns we develop as a means of survival, patterns that ultimately shape our capacity for connection. Consider, for instance, the internal world of someone burdened by the judgments of a community, as if an indelible mark has been etched upon their very being. The constant whispers, the averted gazes, the pervasive sense of being othered, can cultivate a profound and pervasive fear of rejection. This isn't merely an occasional anxiety. It morphs into a core belief that one is fundamentally flawed or unworthy of genuine acceptance. Consequently, a common inner pattern emerges: hypervigilance to perceived slights, an almost compulsive need to anticipate disapproval, and a tendency to shrink one's own presence. This manifests as a quiet resignation, a self-imposed invisibility, or perhaps a guarded politeness that keeps others at arm's length. The individual might unconsciously avoid situations that could lead to further perceived humiliation, or conversely, might try to overcompensate, offering too much of themselves in an attempt to prove their worth, only to feel depleted and misunderstood. The self-talk reinforces this cycle, whispering doubts about their right to joy, belonging, or even a simple unburdened existence. Conversely, imagine the psyche of an individual whose profound experiences have taught them that vulnerability invites further pain, that connection inevitably leads to loss. For those who have faced deep trauma or irreparable sorrow, the heart instinctively constructs formidable defenses. This isn't a conscious decision to be aloof. Rather, it's an automatic, almost physiological response to protect a wounded core. The internal pattern here often involves a rigorous adherence to self-reliance, a belief that one must bear all burdens alone, because reaching out has proven to be unsafe. Emotional expression might feel like a perilous act, a doorway through which past hurts could re-enter. Such a person might develop a meticulous control over their environment and their interactions, preferring predictability and solitude to the unpredictable currents of human emotion. This internal fortress, while offering a semblance of safety from external threats, simultaneously walls off the possibility of genuine intimacy, leaving a profound unspoken ache for connection that remains unaddressed. Consequently, both paths, though divergent in their origins, converge on a similar outcome: a deeply ingrained habit of emotional self-preservation. One individual might internalize the world's scorn, leading to a pattern of self-effacement and a hesitant approach to life, constantly bracing for the next blow. The other, scarred by personal loss or conflict, might develop a pattern of emotional constriction, seeing openness as a gateway to renewed suffering. These are not character flaws, but rather intricate coping mechanisms forged in the crucible of difficult experiences. They are the unconscious dances we perform to navigate perceived threats, often without realizing how these very patterns inadvertently isolate us from the very love and acceptance we secretly yearn for. Furthermore, these inner patterns create a unique set of challenges when connection unexpectedly presents itself. The one accustomed to judgment might struggle to trust genuine kindness, interpreting it through the lens of past betrayal or hidden agendas. The one who has sealed off their heart might find the prospect of emotional engagement overwhelming, perceiving it as a threat to their carefully constructed inner peace. Recognizing these deeply embedded patterns within ourselves is the crucial first step toward dismantling the walls and daring to step into a new, more expansive way of relating. It's about acknowledging the subtle ways our past continues to dictate our present, and understanding that healing begins not with changing the world, but with gently reshaping our internal landscape. When we find ourselves in the presence of another human being whose demeanor seems to echo our own profound solitude, or whose actions appear to mirror our deepest fears, it's a powerful invitation to look beyond the surface. It's easy, in our own pain, to interpret their withdrawal as personal rejection, or their guardedness as indifference. However, A truly compassionate understanding requires us to step into their shoes, to imagine the unseen burdens they carry, and to recognize that their seemingly distant or difficult behaviors are often not about us at all, but rather a deeply ingrained response to their own internal landscape. Consider the individual who has built a life around self-sufficiency and quiet endurance. Their reluctance to engage, their preference for solitude, or their seemingly gruff exterior might not be a deliberate slight. Instead, these could be the protective layers of a soul accustomed to navigating immense personal struggle alone. Perhaps they've learned, through harsh experience, that vulnerability is met with further pain, or that seeking help only leads to disappointment. Their silence, therefore, isn't a lack of interest, but a coping mechanism, a way to manage an internal world that might feel perpetually chaotic or profoundly fragile. They are not intentionally keeping you out. They are simply trying to keep themselves from shattering. The walls they've erected, though they may feel impenetrable, are often a testament to the magnitude of the battles they've fought and continue to fight within. Conversely, think about someone who has lived under the constant scrutiny of a community, their identity shaped by narratives they didn't choose. Their hesitation, their quiet demeanor, or their tendency to anticipate criticism might stem from a deep-seated fear of being misinterpreted or further judged. Every interaction could be perceived as a potential minefield, and their guardedness is a learned survival strategy. They might offer only a small, carefully curated version of themselves, not because they wish to deceive, but because their authentic self has, in the past, been met with scorn or misunderstanding. Their seeming inability to fully relax or trust might be a direct echo of past experiences where opening up led to betrayal or public humiliation. Their quietness isn't a sign of disinterest. It's a protective shell, a way to avoid the sharp edges of external opinion. It is also vital to consider that others, like us, are often grappling with their own unmet needs and unresolved histories. That person who seems emotionally unavailable might be someone whose own emotional needs were consistently overlooked in their formative years, leaving them with an underdeveloped capacity for intimate connection. Their struggle isn't a personal affront, it's a reflection of their own internal deficits, a learned pattern of emotional scarcity. Furthermore, what might appear as aloofness could simply be an individual overwhelmed by their own internal processing. Someone who needs significant time and space to navigate their thoughts and feelings before they can engage externally. Their capacity for connection might be limited not by a lack of care, but by an internal landscape that demands constant attention and energy. Ultimately, when we encounter someone whose actions puzzle or even hurt us, the most profound act of compassion is to pause and consider the invisible story they might be living. Their seemingly difficult behaviors are often deeply rooted in their own experiences of fear, loss, or past wounds. Understanding this shifts our perspective from one of blame to one of empathy. It allows us to recognize that while their actions may impact us, they are fundamentally about them and their ongoing struggle to navigate a world that has, in some way, broken their trust or challenged their sense of safety. This shift is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about gaining crucial insight into the complex tapestry of human experience, fostering a space where genuine understanding can eventually begin to bridge the deepest divides. The journey from isolation to genuine connection hinges on a fundamental shift, the courageous act of initiating authentic communication, and, more profoundly, the delicate art of cultivating a safe emotional haven. It's not enough to simply understand the silent burdens others carry. We must actively construct the bridges that allow those burdens to be shared, or at least acknowledged. This demands a deliberate choice to step beyond the unspoken assumptions and into the vulnerable territory of articulated needs and desires. Consider the quiet courage it takes to voice a need when you've long been accustomed to self-sufficiency, or to express a fear when your past has taught you that vulnerability is a weakness. This is where the true architecture of intimacy begins. in the brave, tentative offering of one's inner landscape. Establishing this safe space, however, extends beyond mere words. It encompasses the energetic field between two people. It involves a profound commitment to presence, truly seeing and hearing the other, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Imagine a quiet clearing in a dense forest, a place where the air feels different, where the rustling leaves seem to whisper secrets rather than broadcast judgments. That is the kind of sanctuary we aim to build emotionally. This requires an unwavering dedication to active listening, a deep curiosity that seeks to understand rather than to immediately respond or fix. It means setting aside your own narrative for a moment, allowing the other person's experience to fill the space, validating their reality without necessarily agreeing with their conclusions. Crucially, it means creating an environment where expressions of fear, doubt, or discomfort are met not with dismissal or judgment, but with gentle curiosity and unwavering acceptance. Furthermore, the integrity of this emerging connection is fortified by clearly articulated boundaries. These aren't walls designed to keep people out, but rather the scaffolding that supports a healthy interdependent structure, articulating what you need to feel respected, what you are willing to offer, and where your limits lie, provides a clear map for interaction. For instance, if you require specific quiet time to recharge, communicating this directly, rather than retreating silently, prevents misunderstanding and fosters mutual respect. Similarly, if there are topics or past events that feel too raw to discuss immediately, establishing that boundary with grace and clarity allows for future exploration when the time is truly right. This mutual understanding of personal thresholds and comfort zones cultivates a sense of predictability and trust, paving the way for deeper, more meaningful engagement. Another crucial layer in this process involves the deliberate practice of clarity, both in expressing your inner world and in understanding the others. This transcends mere factual statements. It delves into the realm of emotional transparency. Instead of hinting at discomfort or expecting mind reading, bravely articulate your feelings using direct I statements. I feel vulnerable when, or I need to understand what you mean by. This invites the other person into your experience, rather than leaving them to guess or make assumptions. Conversely, when you are receiving communication, seek clarity by gently probing. Could you tell me more about what that feels like for you? Or help me understand what you hope will happen if we do X. This commitment to mutual understanding dismantles the silent barriers of misinterpretation that so often plague nascent connections. Building on this, consider the transformative power of consistent, small acts of reassurance. When vulnerability is offered, especially by someone unaccustomed to sharing, it is a precious gift that must be handled with utmost care. A simple verbal affirmation, a nod of understanding, or even a quiet, sustained gaze can communicate profound acceptance and safety. It reinforces the message that it is safe to be seen, safe to be heard, and safe to exist authentically within this shared space. This consistent validation, like gentle rain on parched earth, encourages further blossoming of trust. It signals that this interaction is different from past experiences, that here, the tender shoots of true connection are protected and encouraged to grow. Ultimately, the essence of communication and safety in profound connections lies in the ongoing, courageous commitment to bridge the gap between internal worlds. It's about creating a relational container robust enough to hold unspoken fears and tentative hopes, a place where both individuals can, over time, shed their protective layers, not because they are forced to, but because they feel utterly secure in doing so. This is the bedrock upon which genuine, lasting intimacy is built, a foundation of mutual respect and shared vulnerability that allows two souls to truly meet. Having navigated the challenging terrain of self-awareness and the delicate architecture of communication, we arrive at a profound realization. Love, in its most evolved form, is not merely a feeling but a conscious practice, a sustained commitment to growth and authenticity. This is not the passive reception of affection, but an active, deliberate choice to engage with another soul in a way that elevates both individuals. It's a dynamic interplay where the profound desire for connection coexists with an equally vital respect for individual sovereignty, creating a space where two distinct beings flourish rather than merge into an indistinguishable whole. Consider for a moment the essence of mutuality at the heart of such a bond. Conscious love transcends the transactional, moving beyond what one person can extract from or give to the other out of obligation or fear. Instead, it embodies a vibrant reciprocity, an energetic exchange where both partners are equally invested in the well-being and expansion of the other. It's akin to two trees rooted deeply in their own soil, yet their branches intertwine, offering shade and shelter, each contributing to the ecosystem that sustains them both. This delicate balance ensures that neither individual feels depleted or solely responsible for the emotional nourishment of the relationship, fostering an environment where generosity flows freely, unburdened by hidden ledgers of debt or expectation. Moreover, true conscious love champions the inherent freedom of each person. It recognizes that genuine connection thrives not on possession or control, but on the unwavering belief in the other's right to pursue their own path, discover their own truths, and evolve into their highest self. This requires a profound trust, a willingness to release the grip of attachment and embrace the beautiful unpredictability of another's journey. It means celebrating their triumphs, even if those triumphs lead them to new horizons, and offering unwavering support through their challenges, knowing that their individual strength ultimately enriches the shared tapestry of the relationship. This expansive quality of love liberates both partners from the confines of expectation, allowing their authentic selves to shine without fear of judgment or suppression. Beyond this, a cornerstone of conscious love is its unwavering commitment to truth. This isn't just about honesty and communication, which we've explored, but a deeper dedication to living authentically within the partnership, even when it's uncomfortable. It involves acknowledging imperfections, both your own and your partner's, not as flaws to be fixed, but as integral parts of the complex, beautiful human experience. This radical acceptance creates a sanctuary where masks can be dropped, where vulnerabilities are not just tolerated, but genuinely embraced, and where the raw, unpolished aspects of self are met with compassion rather than criticism. This profound honesty fosters a bedrock of trust, allowing the relationship to weather the inevitable storms of life with resilience and integrity. Yet another dimension of this elevated connection lies in its capacity for shared growth. Conscious love serves as a crucible for transformation, inviting both individuals to confront their limitations, shed old patterns, and continually expand their emotional and spiritual horizons. It's a dynamic process of co-creation where challenges are not viewed as obstacles to be overcome individually, but as opportunities for collective learning and deeper bonding. Imagine two climbers ascending a difficult peak together. They each navigate their own section of the ascent, yet they are roped together, relying on each other's strength, courage, and discernment. This shared endeavor fosters a unique kind of intimacy, one forged in mutual effort and the exhilaration of reaching new heights, not just individually, but as a unified force. This transformative power allows love to become a living, breathing entity, constantly evolving and deepening, rather than stagnating in static comfort. In essence, this form of love is a testament to courage, the courage to be fully seen, to extend profound empathy, and to continuously choose a connection that calls both partners to their highest selves. It's a love that heals old wounds, not by ignoring them, but by creating a new, fertile ground where vulnerability is met with unwavering support, and where the past loses its power to dictate the future. This is the heart of a truly mature and fulfilling partnership, a journey of mutual awakening, where two souls, having found refuge and understanding in each other, embark on a shared path of authentic living and limitless possibility. The intricate dance of human connection often brings us face to face with the echoes of our past, both personal and inherited. Yet, the profound truth that emerges from this journey is not about erasing those echoes, but rather about learning to conduct a new symphony. Now consider the quiet, yet earth-shattering power of recognizing that the final notes of your story are yours alone to compose. This moment of awakening invites you to gently disentangle yourself from the threads of old expectations, the whispers of what was, and the weight of societal imprints that may have shaped your perception of self. It is a liberation, a profound exhale that allows you to step into the vast, open space of your own authentic being. Your worth, you see, is not contingent upon external validation, nor is it diminished by the misinterpretations of others or the shadows of historical events. It is an intrinsic, unassailable light that resides within you, constant and unwavering, regardless of the storms that may have raged around it. This inherent value serves as your unwavering compass, guiding you through the mists of uncertainty. It empowers you to make choices not from a place of fear or reaction, but from a deep, resonant alignment with your truest self. Imagine for a moment being a master artisan, holding the raw clay of your future in your hands. You possess the innate wisdom and the gentle strength to mold it, piece by piece, into a form that truly reflects your spirit, your desires, and your unique vision for a life of fulfillment. This act of self-authorship is perhaps the most courageous journey of all, a quiet revolution of the soul, where you consciously choose to define yourself not by what has happened to you, but by who you are choosing to become. It means trusting your own discernment, even when the path ahead is less traveled, and allowing your internal melody to guide your steps, rather than the clamor of external opinions. Navigating the landscape of healing, remember, is not a destination achieved, but a continuous unfolding. It is a gentle, compassionate process of integrating all parts of yourself, the resilient and the vulnerable, the joyous and the sorrowful, into a harmonious whole. This ongoing work of self-acceptance allows you to embrace your imperfections, not as deficits, but as unique textures in the rich tapestry of your existence. Each scar, each perceived flaw, becomes a testament to your endurance, a mark of the battles you have gracefully survived. This profound self-compassion lays the groundwork for a future built on unwavering inner stability, freeing you from the constant striving for an unreachable ideal and allowing you to simply be, authentically and beautifully. Moreover, the power to construct a life of profound connection and purpose resides entirely within your capacity to embrace the unknown with a quiet, fierce courage. Stepping into a future that defies past limitations requires a willingness to release the familiar grip of what was, daring to dream beyond the confines of inherited narratives. This is where your resilience truly shines, in the brave act of taking that first tentative step onto unexplored ground, trusting that your inner resources are more than sufficient to navigate whatever lies ahead. It's a testament to the indomitable human spirit, its ability to find light in the deepest shadows, and to cultivate gardens of hope in seemingly barren landscapes. Ultimately, this is your invitation to claim your full sovereignty, to stand tall in the knowledge that you are inherently worthy of deep, meaningful connection and a life filled with purpose. The love you seek in the world begins with the love you cultivate within yourself, a steadfast, unconditional acceptance that becomes the foundation for all other relationships. Let this understanding be your anchor, a quiet strength that grounds you amidst life's inevitable currents. As you move forward, carry this truth within your heart. You are not defined by the stories told about you, nor by the burdens you once carried. You are the architect of your own peace, the weaver of your own joy, and the courageous protagonist of a life story still unfolding, brimming with infinite possibilities. Embrace your journey, for in every step, you are writing a testament to the enduring power of your own spirit. Reflecting on this profound journey into the intricate landscapes of human connection, we begin to perceive how deeply interwoven our individual experiences are with the universal longing for belonging. We have explored the subtle yet powerful ways in which external perceptions, along with the echoes of past hurts, can sculpt the very architecture of our inner worlds, leading to deeply entrenched patterns of emotional self-preservation. These protective mechanisms, born of necessity and often operating beneath the surface of conscious awareness, shape our interactions, sometimes creating invisible barriers that paradoxically keep us safe while simultaneously isolating us from the very intimacy our souls crave. The quiet courage required to even acknowledge these internal blueprints is in itself a significant step towards liberation. This deeper introspection then extends outward, inviting a compassionate gaze upon the perceived distances in others. We recognize that what might appear as aloofness or guardedness is frequently a testament to their own unspoken struggles, their own historical burdens, or the unique ways they have learned to navigate a complex existence. This nuanced understanding dismantles the tendency to personalize every perceived slight, fostering instead an empathetic recognition of the shared human condition, a landscape where every individual is, in some form, carrying their own untold story. This shift from judgment to genuine curiosity creates a fertile ground, transforming potential points of friction into opportunities for profound, mutual recognition. Drawing these delicate threads together, the path forward illuminates itself as one paved with intentionality and profound vulnerability. It becomes clear that authentic connection is not merely a fortuitous encounter, but a courageous endeavor, meticulously built through the brave articulation of one's inner truth and the unwavering commitment to cultivating emotional sanctuary. This deliberate crafting of a shared space, fortified by clear boundaries and consistent reassurance, allows for the gradual shedding of protective layers, fostering an environment where both individuals can feel truly seen, heard, and accepted in their raw, unpolished authenticity. It is within this crucible of safety that the foundations for a truly transformative bond are laid, piece by painstaking piece. As we pivot towards the culminating implications of these insights, we discern that the highest expression of love transcends mere feeling. It is a conscious, dynamic practice of co-creation. It is a powerful affirmation of mutuality, where two distinct spirits are not consumed by each other, but rather uplifted